Welcome to Real Talk with Sharon.
Mhm.
This episode is a sad and heartbreaking one. Saturday, June 10th, Crenshaw High School student, standout basketball, football, and baseball star and entrepreneur Quincy Reese Jr. was shot and killed at a party when a car pulled up and opened fire at a group of teens outside the venue. Our guest at this time is Quincy Reese Sr. First, let's tell the world about your son, Quincy Jr., better known to his friend and family as Q.
Uh, Quincy was Quincy has an out like an uplifting personality. Like it's someone you love to be around. Crack jokes out of nothing, out of thin air. Um, Continually asking questions as he's developing his growth. Um, he was always active. He was
Mhm.
always moving around. It was laughter, love, um, church. He stayed in church. Um, being a family man, being a family, being around family. That's what Quincy. That's what Quincy is. He's the perfect version of me.
Correct me if I'm wrong, but is it true he played baseball, football, and basketball? Plus, he had a 3.4 GPA. Then he was an entrepreneur also.
Absolutely,
Okay.
absolutely. His very first sport was soccer.
Wow.
Yeah, very first sport was soccer at a young age. Soccer ended maybe like 2 or 3 weeks. From there, he went to flag football. Flag football. There was a ref. Um, I forgot his name, but it was a ref who introduced us to a guy we call him Uncle Bone. Uncle
Okay.
Bone introduced us to the Crenshaw Rams, which is Big U.
Okay.
Uh, Crenshaw Rams later changed their name to Crenshaw Ram. It was Crenshaw Colts, and then later on they changed the name to Crenshaw Rams.
Okay.
Either way it go, Quincy was a part of both teams, and he was their number one wide receiver since he
Oh,
was since he was 9, since he was 8 or 9 years old.
awesome. Awesome. Now,
Yeah,
how did he end up managing all of that?
his dad,
Mm.
his dad helped him manage it. It was times, um, months that we wanted to launch something, write it down. Um, we need to make sure whatever we had, whatever the goal was at that particular moment, as long as we finish on with that goal, we move to the next. So it's about time and the preparation.
What were some of his goals in life?
His one of his goals in life, he wanted to have an NBA family. He wanted to be on it. He wanted to be getting warmed up, shooting for the game, while his son is passing him the ball like LeBron James, Steph Curry, the Hamiltons. That type of situation. That was his number one goal. Number two was he was getting. I was teaching them, or we was entering the real estate part
Okay.
of when you do get this money, we gonna put it into the real estate. We're gonna get a daycare. One of his favorite movies was Daddy Daycare. So that's where Daddy is gonna interact in real life, and that was part of his goal. Um he also have an app that's coming out. It's being put together now.
Okay.
The app works like Nipsey's Hustle's app. I'm
Okay.
not too I'm not sure if you're familiar with it, but
Yes,
when you get familiar with it, we made it personal. So therefore, you'll be able to put what we're doing right now through Zoom on the actual jersey.
oh, wow.
Right, right, and that goes for weddings, somebody proposing, having babies, birthday parties, all that sorts on our website at Quest, HDA clothing.store.
Awesome. Awesome.
Yep,
Um,
yep, yep.
so Quincy received a football scholarship one day while he was playing baseball. Is that correct?
Absolutely, absolutely. How I found out is that as I'm pulling up to pick him up from practice, he has a baseball game that I ain't know nothing about. So I hurry up the park, get out, and go right to attend to the game. On my way to the game, the head coach of Crenshaw, name is Coach Robert Garrett. He pulled me to the side and said, "Hey man, UNLV came up here unexpected, saw your son playing baseball. and they said he looked like one of their wide receivers, and they want to offer him a scholarship.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, and he
Amazing.
said, he asked Coach Garrett, "Is it okay to talk to him?" He said, "Yeah," and that's how that happened. We was preparing for that on the June 20th, which we just took the physical to play football.
Did he ever tell you which college he wanted to choose and which sport he wanted to play in college?
Um, so the colleges he chose was USC, UCLA, Oregon, Ohio State, and I think Texas A&M. Those was particularly to play basketball
Okay.
or football. Um, but those was his number one choices. He just got 60 other different choices come thrown his way before those came.
Wow.
Because he was only in 11th grade. 12th grade would have been something different.
Now, he was a gifted young man. What are some other
Absolutely.
things you would like to tell, the world about Quincy?
Quincy was learning Spanish and he knew French. Um, Quincy know how to understand Spanish. Quincy also had he got in tune with the body. That's why we have an organic health food store out here in Los Angeles.
Okay.
3124 West Florence. You're more than welcome to come.
Okay.
Um, he also created his own organic drinks. So that's coming next. That was
Um,
the next thing. It was getting that vitamin that we need as people on an everyday basis.
awesome. I'm
He
gonna
also exactly. He also was taking Dr. Sebi products.
okay.
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
I
yeah.
heard they were pretty good. Yeah.
Absolutely. It helped him with his mind and his train of thought. And that's what that yeah, it started coming. It started coming to in real life.
Okay. Now let's talk about senseless gun violence in the Black community. What are
Mhm.
your thoughts on it?
I don't like it, but it starts in the household. It's what you've been exposed to.
Exactly.
So most of the time it's behavior. Most everything comes in the household. Some of us have mom and daddy. Some of them just have mom. Some have just had dad or just granny. It's based on how you've been raised in the household. That's how I look at it. You know what I'm saying? If I teach you about guns, it should be in your mind to me as a dad to know what not to do.
You're right.
You know what I'm saying? But the gun violence control is easy to get a gun. It's
It is.
easy. It's very easy. Everybody, don't have that love and support at home like we all know we should have.
Exactly.
Yeah. So some of us fall short, but the senseless gun violence has to stop.
It
But it
has.
got to start in the household. It got to start from the household.
And just so people will not look at this and say it probably was gang related, let me
Yeah.
clear this up right now. Quincy Reese
Right.
Jr. was not in a gang, never had been in a
Right.
gang, and had no desire to join any gangs. Is that correct?
Right. Correct. Because daddy kept him away from it.
Okay.
Yeah.
Awesome.
He
Uh,
what else he did? Quincy was so busy. Oh my God. He also played a little bit of volleyball.
okay.
Yeah, yeah. I was trying to get him to get in that golf, but I couldn't get him to do everything.
Right. Right. He had his hands full.
He was designing clothes. He
Okay.
has got his own clothing brand called Quest
Wow.
HDA Clothing. Um, Quincy wrote a book that I'm started working on a couple days ago,
Okay.
which I'm gonna turn into a Netflix series with some friends that I know.
Okay. That's good.
Yeah, yeah. Quincy was writing movies too, early,
Um,
real early. So
gifted,
I
very
told
gifted.
him once he start, I'm gonna help him finish.
Do you have
Right.
like any final comments?
My final comments is to the dads. Every second and moment counts with your child. All they want is time. Raising my son wasn't no magic trick. He just got time. That's all he wanted. With that time, we bonded. With that bonded time, I knew who my child was. So therefore, when I hear lies come his way, I know how to stop him right then and there. That's not true. He's
Right.
always with me if I ain't at work. If not with me, he with his mom or his grandmother or my little brother named Jameer, who was a big part of helping me raise him.
Okay.
Um, every function I went to, if I can't bring my child, I might not come. You know what I'm saying? Game night, if it's in the house, if we got other kids, he's with me.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? I poured everything that I didn't know what I was pouring into him. I poured everything into him. I never told him a lie.
Right.
It was us. And I kept it all the way truthful with him, despite the relationship me and his mother had,
Right.
you know? So yeah, that's my final remarks. Is all they want is your time.
Okay.
If you they're gonna tell you what they're interested in, you as a parent just need to go do research and just get into it because that's what they like.
Right.
That's it. That's how I go. There is no forcing a kid to do this because they're gonna stray away from it.
Exactly.
Right, right,
So true.
right. A buddy of mine, which is a good friend of mine, I look up to. He owns a cafe out here, which is not too far from my
Hmm.
shop. It's called Tao's Cafe.
Okay.
It's called Tao's. It's a diner in LA that Quincy was gonna learn how to cook because the kids was gonna run the cooking in the register inside this cafe.
Oh wow.
Yeah. So and that was right down the street from our health food store. He was very talented. He was outgoing,
Yeah.
loved to be around, and everybody loved him. I didn't know people in my community loved him the way they showed. My community took care of my kids.
That's
My
great.
kid. Yep, yep. From talking to Shaq, talking to Snoop, talking to Matt Barnes. It's a guy that we call him Uncle U, is who did that for us. It's a
Okay.
guy that we also call Bear Claw. He also was with us every step of the way. Um, we loved our community and they loved us back. And this time they
Right.
showed it. They showed it.
Great.
I'm very thankful for that, because we was putting on for our community, which is the Crenshaw district in Los Angeles, California.
Okay.
Home of a lot of greats. I know you heard of Nipsey Hussle.
Oh yeah.
Exactly. So we was coming. We created our own path. It's called Quest. But we took the TMC approach on everything.